So what is a win-win cause? Welcome everybody. We really appreciate that you take the time because this is a really interesting subject. This is about win-win situations between humans and the environment, humans and animals. Also in terms of profit nowadays. You know, it used to be that companies would think that either they make a profit or they do the right thing by the environment, or they do kind of a bit in between. But nowadays, you can actually make a huge big profit by doing the right thing, and you can limit your risk a whole lot. And we've got a couple of really good examples from really big companies that you will know who will have seen this or who will already have taken action. So this is a really, really interesting space. Now, initially, I thought I will just take everything that I've written about, everything that I've found on the internet, everything I posted or blogged or whatever, and put it all in this one huge course and put a wonderful structure in it, like we have with one of the other courses or a couple of the other courses where we have all kinds of different systems. And then I thought, okay, actually that doesn't make sense for this course, because what we really want is we want to give you a taste of what we can offer you. And then we go into the client and decide with the client together what is best for the client, what he needs more of, what he needs less of, what he's most interested in, what we could add to the course as well, because there is so much change happening at the moment that part of it, even if I would add everything that we've done, would be out of date already by the time people are looking at this. And on the other hand, some people may already be very good at some of these things, and some people may not be aware of others, and some may be very good at this, but may want some help trying to convince other people again, which is, again, a little bit of a different thing. So what we are suggesting as main pieces basically is, for starters, is a mindset piece in the beginning. And people usually neglect this a lot because they think, okay, especially if I'm more intelligent, then, I'm not determined, my actions aren't determined by my emotions. I actually think rationally about this. But if you take a look at even very rational people, a lot of times they just justify what they emotionally want to do by a rational argument. Not everybody does. A lot of people do look at the numbers especially in higher in big companies, but still there is a mindset piece that can derail everything. There is actually some studies have been done by IBM, I think. I'm not entirely sure when it was, and I'd have to look it up, but I think it was about 80% or 85% of changes or of bits of changes were derailed by psychology or were made better by psychology. So there are a lot of things that in this mindset piece that you just need to be aware of, and that may also show you that the last change that maybe you thought was going disastrous wasn't actually that bad. You can take a look. The other bit that I wanted to take a look at was change management. There are a whole lot of change management. I've got my cat walking around here who is really interested in this piece as well. There are a whole lot of change management. There are a whole lot of change management techniques that are quite interesting, and we could take a look at which technique may be the best one for you, what type of company you are. Most of this doesn't come from me. This comes from a book, APMG Change Management, where a lot of these things are explained. It also explains some of these systems are much more elaborate. Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them have some very interesting stories behind them as well, which make them entertaining if you want a talk for your employees, for example. So I wanted to take a look at those, and you can take a look what is the most interesting to you and what would make sense for you. There's also a communication piece in that as well. And then we've got a whole lot of interesting examples of how people and companies have found win-win situations where they have found that not looking at sustainability massively increases their risk. And these are companies that you will know, that you will have heard of, and that you would not think of in terms of sustainability probably, but they have done a voluntary enclosure and were quite surprised by the result. There are other companies that you also don't think of as sustainability related, and they have taken care of sustainability for almost 20 years already. I was very surprised when I saw that. And there are also all kinds of very interesting examples, especially in African countries, for example, where people don't have much money and have to be very creative, where they came up with stuff that I have never seen around here, for example. And a lot of these things come from other organizations like the World Economic Forum. And I've kind of done a collation of them in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years since I started this whole journey. And I wanted to show you a few of them simply that because they could spark your interest and get your creative juices going as well. So these 3 pieces are the most important ones, I suppose. But there are also other pieces that we could add. And also we would probably change this course as we go along, as we do with the others as well. We've just done an update of both the PETS course and the job course. The job course is much more structured. It has a very, very systematic bit in it, a system that you can follow with all kinds of memory aids so that you don't miss anything. It can be used to start a new career or a new job, a new mission. It can also be used to start a new product. And it can be, it's complementary to this course, to this win-win course, because that could be a part of what you want to do if you want to start a new company, for example, or if you want to find out what your new mission is. It could also be something for your employees, for example, if they need to, in order for you to be able to go on the path of sustainability, if they have to retrain, for example. There is a bit in there how to educate yourself and so on and so forth. So this could also be bundled with this course. It is a course by itself, but it can also be bundled with this course, and it's going to be significantly cheaper if you do that. But this is really a course where you can dip into different bits, and I wouldn't necessarily neglect any of them, especially if you think it's not something for you, because it may be that you're not aware of what interesting things there could be discussed in it. So let's take a look. So let's take a dip into this, and let's start with the mindset piece.